Good afternoon, fellow Plexers. Today I'm going to try to help Richard, who's posted in both Plexaholics, where I think I responded, in the Plex Pals Facebook support group. His issue is he used a laptop with Windows on it for his Plex server. They got a virus. He had to factory reset or reinstall Windows fresh. And now he can't get Plex going to start a new server. So everybody knows I don't run Windows. I've actually got a test Windows 11 install on a 9th gen little HP mini computer, but I can't get the recording software that I use to allow me to pause a video and continue without the sound breaking up. So I'm going to stick in Linux for this demo, and I'm going to use my older Synology NAS. So let's set this up. I have a test Plex server running on this. So this is going to simulate the old install of Plex. Well, actually, let me do it this way. Let me bring in Portainer. I'll shut that container down, and that will represent his first Plex server that now doesn't exist anymore. Now what I can do is I can go to the package center and I can install Plex. A lot of people will tell you you got to go to Plex and download Plex server because it's a lot better than this version. It's really the same thing. The first time I update this, I will convert to the one from Plex. So for this purpose, it's okay just to install here. So while that's installing, let me bring the web app up. And this is for Richard to verify that he's followed these steps. He said he's deleted the old server. But to delete the old server, you go into the web app and you go to Authorized Devices. You change this to Server, and then you remove the server. Like this TrueNAS test. I'm just going to remove that, and it's gone. I'm not actually going to remove this server because I want to show you that even though this server is now shut down, I can spin up a brand new Plex server at the same hardware local IP address and just name it something different. It's all about claiming the server for the first time and renaming it. Now, it won't work out well for me if I give it the same exact name as what this existing server that's no longer running. So if I go here, you'll see this is my main server and these are my two test servers. And the red warning here means it's not available anymore. So while we're talking about the web app, I think it's good to mention that there are 3 ways to access the web app. There's a direct IP address login, which you need to claim a server for the first time. Then you can use app.plex.tv, whether you're on your local network or whether you're away from home on a remote network. This will access your server through Plex's servers. And then there's the Plex for Linux or Plex for Mac or Plex for Windows install file. And let me minimize some things. So I don't even know what I have going on here. So if I copy the URL and then I paste it in here. All right, I'm using the web app at app.plex.tv. Well, I also can bring up the Plex player or Plex for Linux, and that's the same interface exactly. So this can be used locally, this can be used locally or remote. So with a server doesn't exist anymore, you'd want to log in with the web app or even this one to get into your settings to remove the old server. So Richard, if you haven't removed your old server this way, you go into the settings again, authorized devices, change it to server, find it, hit the red X, get rid of it. All right, so let's go back to the Synology NAS. And I am not going to put a claim token in because I want to show you how to claim a server manually. And we can run it after installation. So this is assuming that Plex is running on your reinstalled Windows laptop. And I think I mentioned in a reply to you that you should use your task manager to make sure it's actually running. Well, this is telling me what I need to do to have this server instance access the files on this NAS. So let's shut this down now that we installed it. And I'm going to take this off screen for a second, or maybe I'll just pause the video. This is some test media on this NAS. It's all public domain media. I need to give the new Plex package on the Synology NAS permission to see those files. So I will take you as far as I can without showing you anything proprietary. I need to go into Control Panel to Shared Folder, and then I need to click on the shared folder. Now let me just take this off screen for a minute. Okay, I had to get past a certain page, otherwise I'd be showing you my admin name. I want to get into the System Internal User section, and I want to go to my Plex Media Server and give that read-write permission to this shared folder. And that should be all I have to do, and now this new install at the same IP address as the Docker container installed with Plex has permission to see the media on this NAS. So if I go back to Package Center, now I can run this again, now that permissions are set. So this is really just recreating a new install of Plex on the same hardware base. So my local IP address for this, let me get my document up. Now all my videos are pretty much unscripted. So this is the local IP address of this NAS. This is what I need to plug into this to find it. Because again, only the direct IP address can find this new Plex server for the first time. So this is all I need. Bring that off screen. I could just choose to open it, but I'm not going to do that. So all we care is that it's running, and I can go to, let's see, where is this? Is this open? It's open over here. All right, so it's a little disjointed, but you can get that Plex for Windows or Plex for Mac. They're calling it the Plex Desktop here. So you can get it for Linux, Windows, or Mac, and that will recreate the web app. So there's actually those three ways to get into the web app. So Richard, any feedback I'll need to maybe associate with timestamps, you should see this looking for the new Plex server. It's asking me if I'd like to sign in. It's telling me the application is hosted at this IP address and is not hosted by Plex. It means it's hosted by me. All of our servers are hosted by us, so this is not an error message. And it's showing my email, which I don't really care about. It's not my private email. So I am going to sign in. Let me just take it off screen for a minute. All right, so it's just remembering everything. There's nothing to see with a password. My phone just chimed in that something new has accessed my Plex account. That's my little sound effects on my Google Pixel 6 Pro for the Plex notifications. And this may just take a little bit. So I'll pause the video. It's 6:24 now. Let's see what happens. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, I walked away to refill my iced tea, and we're about 4 minutes later, and it's still not working. We're waiting. So I'm going to close that down, and let's go back to Synology for a second. And that's my Amazon Prime notification about something being delivered tomorrow. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's paste in the URL. Well, so this time I got it. So let me sign in with my regular account, take that off screen, do my PIN. And now this is the screen we want to be at. I'll click got it. And now I have to give it a name. So let me look off screen. Let me just call it Sino 1019-test. Now I'll leave this checked because I already have a port forwarded for the other install of Plex on that NAS, and this can benefit from the same forwarded port because the hardware is the same IP address. The hardware IP of my NAS didn't change. So now we can add the first library. And again, let me see here. I have a shared folder called Media PD. Then I'm using a library sort folder for each type of Plex library. Again, my phone notified me of the sign-in for Plex. Inside the movie-library sort folder, I have the different folders for the different movie libraries. And we'll add a regular movie library with this folder. So I'll hit movie. I'll just leave the name plain for movies. I'll browse. With my Synology NAS, it'll be volume 1. We'll hit the media PD. The movie library sort folder, movie-main, and when I see the structure for all the movies, I can stop and hit add. Like I do in all my videos, I'll click advanced and I'll slide down, and the only change I'll make is to have the minimum collection size be 2, and you should always use the latest and greatest default Plex scanner and agent. So I'll hit next, and I'll be done. And at this point, the web app wants to know which of these servers should be my preferred server. It's not for maintenance, it's just for the web app. So I am going to just let it be this test one, because this is only going to apply to the web app at this direct IP address. It won't apply to my other web app at app.plex.tv. Even though this is a web app, this is a web app, and technically this Plex for Linux is a web app, this is the web app part. This is the settings part. So the settings will all be the same, and you can switch between servers here, but you can have individual customization of the web app section between all these different versions of the web app. If I say web app one more time, I'm going to drive myself nuts, but it is what it is. So I'll uncheck music because that's title, I think, and I'll leave everything else checked, and I'll finish my setup. And now I am into that new Plex server I just installed and pointed to one media library. It's telling me I have an update. So if I look, there's a server update available. I'll click that, and I'll click download now. And I'll just go to my download directory. I can play one of these movies. So the reason I'm using public media or public domain media is so I don't get a YouTube strike if I show a little bit of a movie. So let's take this off screen. I'm going to shut this down. Oh, and well, I should have looked before I shut it down. Now I can do anything I want. Let me run it again. So that server's gone because I had shut it down. And I can't get into anything else while it's down. Alright, so it's back up again. Alright, I've logged in, and while I'm here, let's check sign in automatically and save changes. And let's go to General to see what version. So it's version 1.29.2.6364. Alright, so now let's upgrade it. So I'll do a manual install. I'll browse to my download folder. Did I not download that yet? Yep, I did. Well, I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Let me pause you guys, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I realized what I did. Let me run this server one more time. Before the file finished downloading it, I had stopped the server, and it must be because it was downloading through this instance the web app. It stopped the download. Alright, so let's do that again, and this time I'll have more patience. Or maybe I don't know what's going on. I have days like that. Nope. It just got named as the second version, even though the first version never finished. So we're good. Again, these are all unscripted. I'm kind of like the neighbor that comes over to help you, who may get you there eventually, probably will, but it may not be the smoothest ride, but at least it's a free ride. Okay, so now I'll do the manual install. There's the file, 1.4.0 versus 1.29. We'll select it, hit next. Now this may take Plex a while to open back up because there was a database upgrade, so it may take 2 or 3 minutes, but probably not with this tiny library that I'm using it as an example. All right, so this is just telling us again how to give a shared folder permission on the Synology NAS with a package installed. All right, so we're running that. And this may take a bit, or it may not. So with a regular web app through Plex, I can access my other servers. But with a direct IP address, I can't access anything until that server comes up. And it just came up. So now if we go into the settings, it's indirect at the moment. And now it's normal. We got the green light and everything's all set with it. So that's really just a simulation of using one hardware device, my older Synology NAS, to represent Richard's same laptop with a before and after Plex server install. Richard, you may not be waiting long enough. Maybe you got stuck with the same delayed screen that I did, and when I just put in the proper web address the second time, I was able to sign in with my PIN code. So that may be something that you got stuck behind. So whatever the IP address is of your laptop, you want to put it into this formula, http : with the 2 slashes, the IP address : 32400/web. And actually you don't even need the last one. That's how you claim a server. So let me know how you make out with this more detailed instructions for you. The only thing that troubles me is I gave up Windows in 2006, just before Windows 7 came out. I had gotten tired of blue screen of deaths, and I wasn't a guy to install all kinds of different software. It just seemed like if I got a year's worth out of an install of Windows before it started to act up, I was doing good, and I got off the merry-go-round. So it troubles me that you said you deleted registry entries, because I think you were just having trouble signing into the new install of Plex, and you didn't need to delete the Windows registries. If you really can't get it, seeing you just set up the laptop again, nuke that install and start fresh, and then use this video to try to sign into Plex once you get it installed. It just might hang a little bit, and really, to recap, all I did is when it hanged, I left that window open, and I pasted in the URL again, and then it was like I had already signed in, because I had put my password in before, and then it hung. I just had to put my PIN code in. So that might be where you're getting stuck. This is getting long, and I'm starting to ramble, so thanks for watching, and good luck, Richard.